Ladies and geraniums, how are we doing tonight? As you can see, we have got an Ibanez RG series guitar to take a look at. So we'll have a listen to what it does, I'll make a bit of a noise, you can have a bit of a listen, then we can have a bit of a talk about it, and okay, is that alright with you? Super. Marvin would go mad. Okay, so as you could hear, it makes a bit of a row, but we've got it on not noisy at all setting, and we'll have a listen to the pickups and then I'll have a walk around it with you as per usual. So here we are on the treble side. Into position 4, which is between the bridge and the centre. Onto the centre. Onto position around that. Oh no, that was 1, 2, 3. So on position 4 now. It was 2 before. Anyway, what am I talking about? You can see where I put the knob. So. finally onto the neck position. And I promise you that after all that yanking the wang bar up and down, I have not touched the tuning at all. So let's unplug it and have a look around it and see what we can find. So, you've just heard me bend 1 full octave down. Are we still in tune? That's the question. %. So that, you know, these really are your shredded metal, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, blah blah blah, that kind of guitar. It is a hair metal guitar. That's what they were designed for, and that is what they do, and they are brilliant. Let's unplug and take things off, and we can have a look round it. So what have we got? What have we got? Well, what we've got is a beautifully thick and chiselled, I believe it's an alder body, with a maple 3-piece wizard neck. You can see the 3 pieces there in the grain. Okay, and of course sealed tuners. You can see by the serial number that, of course, this is 2007, made in Indonesia in the Core Tech factory. You have got 24 frets, that's great for all that high-end noodleage. And of course we have the locking stop nut with the cute string retainer bar, and a nice angular truss rod cover, as we can see, Ibanez or Ibanez, which I'm going to talk to you about for a few seconds. Ibanez, as we all call it in the Western speaking world. The correct pronunciation is in fact Ibanez, which is because originally the name came from a chap called, and again in Western English we would say Salvador Ibanez. The correct pronunciation, as I say, is it's Salvador Ibanez, and he died in 1920 at 60 odd years old, so you can work backwards from there. And he used to build fine acoustic guitars. He was a luthier from, I think, Madrid, or somewhere around that area, and he used to sell his parlour guitars, his acoustic guitars, to the Geki plant in Japan, and Geki simply adopted the name Ibanez. I don't think there's any problem with it. It would be like if I was selling John Smith guitars and then somebody was buying my stuff and just decided to call their guitars Smith guitars. I think it's the same kind of thing. So yes, we have got a Wizard 3-piece maple neck, which is, it's flat and fat. It's flat. I mean, that is flat. It's flat and it's fast, and the action is superb. This particular instrument is equipped with Dr. Neon white strings, and these are terrific sustainers. And oh yes, it's all purple. It's not a trick of the light. Everything is purple. We've got a purple mirrored scratch plate with 2 purple humbucks and a single coil, purple pickup in the centre, usual kind of strap 5-way switch, which does exactly what you'd expect it to. Single volume, single control, and as I'm sure that you will have already guessed, the equipment on here, scratch plate, the neck, the body and all the other stuff is totally original to the guitar, but the guts, the things that make it noisy, are aftermarket products, and they are powered by, the 2 humbucks at either end are powered by a dragonfyre, and the centre one is just a generic kind of single coil for, you know, a bit of polite stuff. So, or really, probably, in all honesty, to make the numbers up. So, why one would swap out the Ibanez pickups for anything else is, quite frankly, a bit puzzling as far as I'm concerned, but hey ho, that's what happened. So with these, you want to check for the usual things. As we know, we've got a floating trem, and the first thing that you always want to look for with your floating trem is that it's level like this, so that it's not either dunked down or cranked up. It wants to be flat and level, otherwise it just won't play right. So we're all set up, the intonation is fabulous, this thing goes down. The other thing that we want to check for, if you're going to buy one of these, give all of the little fine tuners, all these little wheels here, give them all a little bit of a wiggle, make sure they're working correctly. And obviously, now this tremolo arm is not in fact the correct one for this, although it fits, it's the correct diameter. They should, on these edge 2, edge 3, on these edge tremolos, there should be some bushing in here, but it fits in perfectly well. It doesn't fall out, and it makes the strings drop off, and of course we return quite easily and suitably back to pitch. So what else do we want to look for? Just make sure all the stuff is there, because if you've got to buy any of it, it's a pain. And so make sure that you've got your retainer bar, make sure that that lock stop is nice. Although these parts aren't expensive, it's a damn nuisance if you've got to replace them. Like I say, make sure the wheels on the fine tuners are working smoothly, and that in fact the thing does bend. And then it's just ordinary stuff really. There is, I think on this one, there's the tiniest, can you see this little lacquer defect here? That's, and as I've said before, that kind of thing, that's not an issue. It's just a little paint defect. And what we don't want to see a big gap. We don't want to see a hole. That's the important thing. But you know, a little bit of paint defect is neither here nor there. So they're fast, they're noisy, and they are pretty much a shredder's industry standard. And that said, it's absolutely fine for other stuff, but when you got it on noisy, my goodness, it is noisy. And they are easy to play. They are so easy to play. And you've got fabulous access. I mean, not as good as a V-shaped guitar for some fairly obvious reasons, but you have got superb access right the way up to fret 24 here. And they're great guitars to play. So, RG, I believe it stands for Roadstar Guitar, and that is the end of our little chat. Yes, so let's carry on. So that's it from me for tonight, as per the Ibanez, and thanks all ever so much for watching. And before I go, once again, I'm just going to extend my appeal, for this guitar. Has anyone seen this guitar? This was made in Japan in the 70s, I should imagine. It's a Les Paul copy. It had a Telecaster style bridge pickup there, and the just took the humbuck out for servicing. And here is the, oh yes, it's plywood, and that's, I don't know what that is, but isn't that beautiful? Look at that grain. That is lickable. Actually, it doesn't taste nice, but anyway. So the important thing is this headstock logo. As you can see, there's just the little tip of this thing missing here. So if anybody recognises this logo, please, I have had a couple of replies that I've seen pop up on my phone, but I've not looked at them yet, so somebody might have already provided an answer. But if you know this logo, please tell me what it is, because I haven't got the first idea. I've made many researches, but all fruitless. So anyway, thanks all ever so much for watching once again, and I'll see you all soon, so adios amigos, ta-ra.